What's going on, people? Welcome to Live Palace News. It's Dee here with Patrick. We've got smiles on our face. New week, Patrick. New Palace week. And we've got things to look forward to. As you guys can see from the title of the video as well, we are linked with a new player. Transfer rumors have already started. And also, there's injury updates. But before we get into the video, if you do enjoy it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future Palace content. Patrick, what's weird?
No, my headphones seem to be linked to my laptop and my phone at the same time. Just a weird.
Oh, so you're hearing me twice.
Technology.
You're hearing me twice. So
exactly.
You got a smile on your face. You got a smile on your face today. It's a bit different from Saturday. It seemed like we've calmed down over that defeat against Chelsea. We're over it now.
No. The reason why I just listened to the review pod with Hambo, Chris, and Nick.
Make sure to check that out.
It was really good.
It's on all podcast platforms. Make sure to check out the Match Report podcast. They talk about it in more depth as well. And of course, Hambo's Ramblings is back.
Exactly. It was brilliant. It was really good, yeah.
Is it, Patrick, is it too early for transfer rumors?
Yes.
Well, I guess
not for you, though, apparently.
No, I guess not. But look, let's talk about the first news of the day, which happened earlier on this afternoon. According to the Football Insider, Palace, Leicester and Bournemouth are tracking Sheffield United star Rhys Norrington-Davies. Patrick, before we go into and speak about him in more depth, be honest, have you heard about him before?
He plays for Wales. He plays for Wales. I mean, I honestly do, only because he plays for Wales. For Wales, I mean, I watched the Wales when they tried to qualify for the World Cup. So yeah, but as I told you before we start, he's not a left back. He's a left of a three. So if we sign him, it'd be interesting if we go to a back three. But honestly, he's not a pure left back like in the Tyreek Mitchell type. Can he fit in for Tyreek? Sure, but he's a good player. I mean, I'm not really sure why he leaves Sheffield United to come to Palace and to get promoted, but it's an interesting rumor. I don't know how strong it is, but it's a left back rumor, so something to talk about, right?
Exactly. So let's talk about him in more depth. So he, according to Who Scored, his strengths are passing and holding onto the ball, and his weakness, defensive contribution.
Oh, great!
which is not really great for a defender. But looking at this, if his strengths are passing and holding onto the ball, it seems like he's composed on the ball. So from what you've seen from him play for Wales, what type of player would you describe him as? Is he a liability defensively, but he's more of a modern centre back with what we saw with Joachim Andersen when he first joined us, and then Joachim Andersen turned into that defensive beast as well? Or
nah,
what is it?
He's not in that. He's not in that style. Like I said, he's more of a left-sided in a three center back. So he's not. I wouldn't compare him to anybody we have. Like I said, he's like a. You know what the term hybrid is? You know what hybrid is, right?
Yeah.
Right. So he's like a high. No. It's just that to me, it's a very American term. I don't know why I think it's an American term. I don't know why. I'm not calling you stupid. It's a weird American term that we use a lot over here. So it's like a hybrid. He's a bit like a mix between a left midfielder and a left back. So to me, only can play in a three. I know he's played left back for Sheffield United and a little bit for Wales, but Wales uses a three a lot. They like wing back. So I don't know how he fits in. Honestly, it's an interesting link. And again, we definitely need a left. Listen. Let's be honest. We need somebody to support Mitchell. By the way, I've been watching a lot of 21s lately. Tyler looks really good. For me, if you can put JK on the bench, if you put JK on the bench, put Tyler on the bench next match. I'm not even joking, seriously, in case something happens. But going back to Norrington-Davies, he's going to be in the World Cup. He's probably going to start, I'm going to assume. Because defensively, Wales are okay. They're not great. They're decent. Sheffield United having a great season, by the way, in Championship. So they're probably gonna get promoted. So he'll be in the Premier League next season. I don't know if the link makes a lot of sense for them to sell him, but again, we need someone to back up Tyreek. We also need someone to back up in a left sided of a three. So it would make sense, but again, I don't know how strong this link is, honestly. But he's a decent player.
Yeah, funny enough, the majority of the time this season he's played 11 times in a back line as a defender, as a central defender. He's played as a left back only once, and he's played as a defensive mid 3 times. So the positive
He's versatile.
He seemed like he's versatile. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Which is what we're trying to do, even with Chris Richards, where we know that he can play right back if he needs to be, even though he's not a right back, and he also can play centre back. So it looks positive in that aspect. But for now, it's not like we're signing him. It's just it's just a rumor. It seemed like we're scouting him, but still interesting to see that we might still go for another defender. And that one thing that pops up into my head is that back three. That back three links with these defender rumors is not going away. But for me, Patrick, I wouldn't left back would be good. Maybe it depends on how you see Adam Roller. But I don't think we need another defensive. Yeah, right back is the position that we need, and he can't play there. No, and for me, other than that, I don't think we need to sign a defensive, especially a central defensive defender, because we've got Chris Richards there, and we've got Joachim Andersen, who also was missing in this game. So interesting. Maybe if Tompkins leaves next summer, he can come in for Tompkins. Still young as well.
There you go.
Still got room for improvement. But look, it's out there. The rumors out there, and the rumor season has already started in that aspect. But let's now talk about some of the players that we've already got. And injuries. We've had a month off and we're already talking about injuries. So let's start off with Maka. Vieira said after the game against Chelsea, said the following: it looks like it will be long-term and he's progressing, but maybe not as quickly as I would have liked. There's still a long way to go. Patrick, when I heard this after the game, I was very shocked.
Yeah.
Because I was expecting maybe Maka to go into this game. Exactly. I thought he would be ready for this game, but it's not looking good. It is not looking good for us in that midfield spot. With Maka, how do you see this playing out? Because if he's still got a long way to go, he's 35. As we spoke about briefly in a match reaction show, is this it? Is this pretty much it with Maka?
I say if we get him back, it's like a new signing. But right now, let's just move on from him. Let's just try and figure out what we're doing without him. I love Maka. I think Maka had done a great job since he got here. He definitely helped Gallagher a lot last year in order to just one, to integrate into the team, and two, make him the player that he was. For me personally, I think Maka was his mentor, which was great. He's great to have around the squad, but I think his birthday is actually this week. I think it's Friday. He turns 35 or 36. His birthday this week. He's not going to be able to add that much more to us as a player. So we have to move on. So going to the match, the pod I was talking about, listening to Hambo makes a great point. Using Olise, Eze, and Doucouré is exciting. Maybe not against Chelsea, but going forward, that three could really work. The problem I have with it is that Doucouré's got to do a lot of work. He's doing the work. He did it on Saturday. He did the work of two players. So maybe we don't need Maka to come back, but maybe we've got to use Hughes more. Hughes hasn't really featured this much at all this season. We've got to use him more in the midfield. I know he's been injured a little bit, but let's use Hughes a bit more, especially as a sub, because we need a fourth or fifth midfielder in there, and it can't be. Listen, let's not talk about. I'm not going to argue about Schluppy, but it can't be Schlupp. Schlupp, I think Hambo said Schlupp had 4 touches in 17 minutes on Saturday. 4 touches. Yeah. Mateta, he said, and somebody else came in after, had more touches than he had in. I guess it was Hughes came in, right? Hughes come on. Did Hughes come on? Hughes came on. Right. Yeah. Had more touches in less time than Schlupp had. I mean, we've got to have a better solution. Listen, I'm not here to kill Schlupp. We've got to find a better solution as a midfield, as a sub or whatever, than Jeffrey Schlupp, because it's not working.
I'm not here to kill Schlupp. I'm here to kill Schlupp. And you proceed to kill Schlupp.
I'm not killing him. I'm dropping the facts.
Well, you know the funny thing about, so look, Maka, we know the energy that he has in our midfield, and that's why I would have liked to see him come back in, even though he's 35 years old. And I've said this when Patrick Vieira first joined. I don't know how it's going to be for Maka in this system because it's very demanding. But Patrick, one thing that I was thinking about today when I saw this news is that we miss his experience on the pitch. When we're talking about late goals conceded, you want someone like Maka on the pitch because you can see that he's very vocal. Am I looking too much into it, or do you think that's been a massive miss as well? And you could have forget about just his style of play, but just his experience. Because when you look at this Palace side, we've still got a very young side, and the most experienced players, Joe Ward, coming on top of my head, and Wilf. Apart from that, we've got a very young squad. Do you think that's another player that we're missing and that could help us with these late goals conceded, or is that a pathetic excuse?
It couldn't hurt, can it? I mean, I'm sure that we've given up goals with Maka on the pitch late, but can't think of many of them. I really can't. So it can't hurt. And again, I'll say again, I think Macca's experience, whether he's on the pitch or in the side. You remember during the lockdown when they were talking about how they could hear him from the stands yelling to the players on the pitch. I mean, he's a vocal player. Even if he's not even playing, he's vocal. So he'd be helpful for sure. I mean, it's a bigger miss that people want to make out to be not having Macca. But at his age and that injury, you said it perfectly before. Yeah. It's not looking good, man. It's not looking good.
It's not looking good. Trust me. Seb says keep Macca and bed him into the coaching staff. Yeah,
that would work. I mean,
coach.
That
but we need him on the pitch right now. Anyway, so January, exactly. Not as a coach. Louis says I've heard Jed Spence on loan from Spurs, but I don't know how true that is. So we'll talk about that a bit later. So let's talk about injuries, and we'll get your questions for the show before we wrap it up. As always, if you do enjoy it, make sure to smash the like button. Helps us out massively. And also, if you're watching on replay, leave down your comments below. Let us know your thoughts. So the second injury, what Vieira said, is Joachim Andersen. He spoke about it after the game, and he said he trained with us yesterday morning, and he felt something on his calf. That's why he wasn't involved today. So, Patrick, one thing that I'm getting from there, maybe is hope, but I don't think it's serious.
Yeah.
It seemed like he felt something on his calf. Then again, we saw against Chelsea, especially with the first goal, how big Joachim Andersen is for us. Massive. Because for me, if Joachim Andersen and Mark Gay played there, we don't concede that goal against Aubameyang. I thought that was very poor defensively from Wardy. But that's a positive in itself that hopefully it's nothing too serious and he can play for Leeds.
That's a big statement considering you gave up a late goal with him on the pitch against Brentford. But I know what you're saying.
I'm talking about the first goal against the one that Aubameyang scored and Joe Ward.
The header from Silva and then turn the spin around.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, you're bigging up him big time, Anderson, and I respect that, and I got no issue with that. But I'm not going to say it necessarily. I will say again, Wardy's fit out of position. He's not a centre half. He's filling in. He's doing the best that he can. The fact is that Silva shouldn't have been on the bloody pitch on Saturday in the first place to make that header. Different argument, obviously, but hopefully he's not a big miss. I noticed Richard was at the NFL game yesterday at Spurs, so hopefully he's not. He's not that bad. I don't know what injury. Look, he came into the USA camp for the 2 matches,
and he didn't
play and was sent back. It was sent back. I think it's more precautionary, but he wasn't in the squad yesterday on Saturday. Sorry, so that's not. Hopefully his injury isn't that big because honestly, he can step in better, I think, than Wardy can. He's a natural centre half, and that's what we got him for to play. And the fact that he could have played on Saturday and didn't is a problem. But hopefully Anderson and Richards are back. Listen, we can't afford injuries. Our squad is weak. It's just not a deep squad. We cannot afford injuries, especially defensively. I mean, maybe even in midfield, we can't afford injuries anywhere. We're just not a very deep squad. So hopefully Richards and Anderson are back on Sunday for Leeds. I
thought this was a perfect opportunity for Richards against Chelsea.
I agree.
Because Anderson's out injured. And as I said it before, I don't see how Richards gets game time unless it's injuries. And that injury did happen, but unfortunately for him, he was also injured in the process. But with Richards, there's actually... Yeah, go on.
My bet, he would have had another.
Forget about your bet. You're betting. Yeah, I'm getting that. That's an easy W for me.
Oh my God.
By the way, if you're watching this and you haven't heard about this bet that me and Patrick have, Patrick said that Richards will appear 25 times for Palace.
Five times.
5, yeah, that's changed. Yeah, and I said there's no way that's happening, and yeah, it's not. I don't think it's still gonna happen. But funny enough, with Chris Richards, there's no news about his injury. I couldn't find anything about him, so
which is a good thing, hopefully, right?
Hopefully, anyways, right. If Patrick Vieira hasn't spoken about it. Finally, in the game, we saw Nathaniel Klein. He went down injured, and didn't look nice. No. It didn't. It looked dirty. He had to be stretchered off, and then Patrick Vieira after the game said that he went straight to hospital. And he hasn't had the chance to speak to the doctor yet. So we haven't had any updates regarding that. But Patrick, if you're down injured like that for a few minutes and then you need the stretcher, then you go to hospital, it's not looking good, is it? It's not looking good. And that right back spot is looking very slim right now because the other option is Joe Ward. Apart from Joe Ward, who else plays there?
Well, Richards can play there. I don't want to see him play there, but Richards can play there. But now you're looking at the youth team, right? Now you're looking at I don't even. I mean, no, seriously. I mean, you can't go to the 18. I mean, I don't know. Again, You got Nathaniel Ferguson. Obviously, he's injured. I've seen it in and around, but he's. I mean, listen, we bought Ferguson for this, and the poor kid has been injured the entire time. As much as I want to kill Palace, they tried to address it, they didn't. They should have addressed it in the last window. We didn't. So this is going to be a problem now. It's going to be Ward / Richards, and then after that, I don't even know what the solution would be to play right back. So
it's all your fault because when I was calling for Aaron Wan-Bissaka, you was like, no, let's not sign him back. Let's not sign him back.
I never said. I did say that, but Man United did not want to sell him, or loan him out.
But then, even if they did want to sell him, you wouldn't have been happy if we got Wan-Bissaka back. And I've been screaming for this. I've been screaming about right back for ages. When
not
people
fair.
talk about centre-mid,
I never said I would have taken him. I just didn't want him. That's the difference. I would have taken him. I just didn't want him.
When people talk about centre mid, I 100% agree. Like, we need another midfielder. Right. That's fair. We can see it. Conor Gallagher's gone, and we need to replace him because Mac is out injured as well. But another position that people don't really talk about is right back. Even when Klein and Wardy is fit, I've said it many times. Do they fit into a top 10 side? Are they top 10 players? No. What do we want to achieve ideally? Push into the top 10. So as good as they are, and they do have some good games and some questionable ones as well, they're just not consistently good enough to be top 10. You ask any other Premier League side, they wouldn't take them if they're top 10 side. So we desperately need to improve right back position. And now that Nathaniel Klein is out injured, Wardy's going to play there. He might have a few good games, but he's not a natural right back in Vieira's system. Look at what Mitchell does going forward compared to Wardy. He's just not Wardy's not that guy going forward. And he also defensively at times he can struggle. So it's a position that we need to improve massively. I've said it many times. Centre mid and right back. I think that should be our priority. And once again, Nathaniel Klein is out injured. What do we do now? We got Chris Richards and Wardy. All right, cool. They might be able to put in a shift. But then if we want to achieve something this season, it's going to be extremely hard. Extremely hard with Wardy starting at right back. Because I don't think he should be a Premier League starter. He's a great servant for the club, but he's a good squad player, not a Premier League starter for a side that wants to push into the top 10.
So I'll counter that with saying that we've got 9 games plus the League Cup until the World Cup break, and after the World Cup break, you get a couple of matches. Then you have obviously the transfer window opens up again. So you're talking about maybe 10 matches to go with Ward / Richards at right back, and we're not playing, thankfully, Liverpool, Arsenal, Chelsea, or Man City. So I'm going to say that we've got to buckle down, figure something out, and when I say us, I mean Vieira, and get something done in those 10 games and get to the window. And if Klein is out, which doesn't look good, and you can't go with Ward, I'm with you. Go get Wan-Bissaka or somebody at right back that we can use for the rest of the season, because clearly we don't have enough depth in our squad right now to deal with it. So you're right. I think we put our chips in, hoping that we wouldn't get injuries. Now we've got Richards out, who knows how long. Mac is not coming back. Anderson, hopefully not too long, and then Klein does not look good. So we've got to figure something out. But you know what? We made a mistake in the window. Now we've got to address it with either players in the youth team or the ones that are around the squad now have to do a better job. Have to.
Exactly. Someone needs to step up anyways. That right back position, just like when Wan-Bissaka stepped up. If there's any academy players out there, that's that wants to play for the team, there's the opportunity, because you could be easily pushing Wardy for that spot, because we are very slim there, and you could show why we don't need another right back. But now let's get some questions in before we wrap this up. If you guys want to see this more on maybe daily basis or every 2 days, let us know. Leave a like, subscribe. We enjoy talking about Palace, even though we lost against Chelsea. We still, it's our therapy session here. It's our therapy session. So let us know in the comment section down below, and also by supporting the channel. So let's talk about the question that we had about a right back, and that was by Louis, that I'm just trying to find right now. Louis says, I've also heard Jed Spence on loan from Spurs, but I don't know how true that is. Patrick, would you take another loan move after what happened with Conor Gallagher on all weekend?
Honestly,
no option to buy?
No, I really wouldn't. I mean, Spence is at Spurs. He's not going to play because apparently Conte doesn't like him. I don't know why they bought him in the first place. I don't know why he went there in the first place, because he might play now, actually, with Royale getting a red card on Saturday, which is hilarious. But would I take it up? No, I don't want to develop anybody else's players. I don't. At this point, no. Without option to buy, I don't want to do that. Even though we're desperate, and we are.
Yeah, we're desperate.
I wouldn't. We are desperate. But, we can find as good as a better right back that we could actually have an option to buy than Jed Spence.
Would you do that? Okay, so would you do that? for 6 months, from January till the summer. Jed Spence out on loan. Because we're talking about being desperate for players. So if it's like a 6 months loan and then he goes back to Tottenham, I'm lost, man. I'm lost about the situation because we've done this loan. We've seen it with Ruben Loftus-Cheek. He's gone back to Chelsea. We've seen it with Conor Gallagher. He's gone back to his club as well. Jed Spence not getting any game time at Tottenham. We play him. Oh, Conte realizes that he's actually got a very good player there.
Yeah, exactly.
That he can use next season. So it's not an easy situation, but if he can help us for 6 months, or you can bring back Wan-Bissaka, who do you take out of them two? I know scenario. I think for me, Wan-Bissaka is more likely than Spence.
Wan-Bissaka, makes more sense. He knows our system better, knows the environment better, knows some of the players obviously better. I would take Wan-Bissaka back. But again, I don't want to develop him and all of a sudden Ten Hag says, oh my God, there's a player here. I want to keep him. I'm really against that. I know we're desperate, and I know desperate times call for desperate measures, but I don't like the idea of developing someone who goes back to especially a top 6 club, and we look like idiots again because then the player comes back and does what against us no, I don't want to do that, bro. I mean, honestly, let's dip into the championship and find somebody that can back it up. Bring up Caden. I just realized the player I'm talking about is Caden Rodney. He's a kid in the 21s that's playing right back. He played left back against Oxford in the cup.
Yeah.
Play him at right back. He's a natural. He's more of a right back than he's a left back. Play him at... Listen, man, this develop. We've got a good academy, bro. We're in first place. 18s are in second. 21s are in first place. Play our kids, man. Let's do that. Come on, man. It's time.
It sounds great, but I don't think it's realistic. I know Vieira, he'll take a bit of time. I think
they're not scrubs, bro. They're good players.
They're not.
Got 11 goals. 11 goals this season.
They're not. I get that, but I'll be surprised. I'm not saying no.
Right.
100%. I'll do it. I'll go for the gamble, especially with the games that we got coming up. I'd rather that, but then. Knowing the games that we got coming up and the pressure on us to pick up points because we're sitting 17th right now in the league.
Right.
And of course, we've had some difficult fixtures. Would it change that experience, which we already talked about, that's missing with Maka not being on the pitch, taking away Joel Ward and bringing in another youngster in? I don't know if he'll do that.
Okay. So here's my scenario. How did Wan-Bissaka get into the first team? Ward got injured, correct?
Yeah.
How did Mitchell get into the first team?
Van Arnold got injured.
An injury. Exactly. An injury to Klein. Listen, bro. Listen.
But then you got Ward there. You got Ward.
But you also have Rodney.
I don't blame you.
I'm saying give it a chance. I'm saying give it a shot.
I'm saying that as well.
Right. Because it's worked twice. Maybe 3 times is a charm. It's worked twice for us in the past. Injury, bringing a kid. Maybe lucky again.
And also, it can't be... like much worse. Like with all due respect, like
it can't be right. I mean, seriously, the kid might get roasted, but he might learn from it. But it can't be much worse. Let's be honest. He'll make mistakes, and they all make mistakes. But maybe he's quicker, he's younger. He's played well, Rodney, for the 21s. He has. I know he's actually only 18 years old. He's very young. But you're right. Can it be much worse? If you protect him, maybe put a more defensive player on that side. We did that with Ayew. We did that with Townsend on the left side when we had, or maybe Townsend on the right side with Wan-Bissaka. It was Townsend actually who helped him, but Wilf helped with Tyreek. But listen, bro. We gotta do something, man. We gotta try something.
Patrick. For me, how I see it is, if you're good enough, you should play. I don't really look at that age.
I agree on that too.
I don't say, 17, 18, he needs time. If you're good enough, you can play. That's how I see it.
I agree.
But not, of course, Vieira, I don't think he sees it the same way. And I wouldn't really blame him if he doesn't play him ahead of Wardy, because then again, like, he's taken enough risks as it is. You got Elise and Eze in midfield, and you got Zaha on the pitch, and you got Edward, you got all these attackers, so he might want to have a bit more experience at the back. So I wouldn't blame him, but look, I think I'll do it. Or Jordan Ayew as right back. Why not?
I knew that's coming. I knew that's coming from you. You're such a funny guy.
Aaron says we need to play Richards and Hughes more, use them and build them up along with their confidence. They've both got quality.
I'm with you on that. Play him.
With Richards, I don't agree, I have to say, because Joachim Andersen and Mark Gahey are our best options there. They've been solid so far this season. And unless we play back 5 or back 3, however you want to see it, I don't see how Richards plays. But with Hughes, 100%. But then again, there's a question about Hughes. So where does Hughes play? Does he play as the number 8? Or does he come off the bench as
next to Decore with Eze?
Yeah, I guess it can. For me, if you look, all right then, it only works for me. I would prefer Eze and Elise there rather than Hughes. I'll have to admit that, especially against sides like Leeds.
That's why, because you like the attacking part of it.
Yeah, but I still feel like Eze can still put in the shift as well, like box to box. You can put in the shift, and then you give Elise that freedom. But then again, you can also have Hughes there to look. It's an interesting element. I think Vieira wants to win games.
Can I ask you a question now? Because that's interesting. Said that. What team? Now I'm not talking about top 6 side. What team on our level plays with 2 very attacking midfielders like Elise and Eze? I can't think of anybody that does that. You know what I mean? It's very aggressive. I'm not saying I don't like it. It's very aggressive though. Yeah. Leeds doesn't do it. Wolves don't do it. Brighton's actually top 6 side now, so don't even count. I mean, they kind of do it.
Say that. They are. I'm about to remove you from the stream right now.
End the stream.
Brighton are not top 6 side.
They are right now.
They are right now. You lot heard that wrong. There's a mistake there by Patrick.
I hate to say it, but it's true. I'm spitting facts, bro.
They're not. But with Hughes, look, he hasn't played as much as I would have thought he would play. And if we need another midfielder, use him there more. But for me, I like to see that for one more game, anyways, Eze and at least same midfield. Because
I agree. I like to see it for the next 8 games. I don't mind having up to the World Cup break. But my point is that it just gives a lot of emphasis on our back 4 being much more solid than they were on Saturday. And Doucouré's got to do a lot of work. So from that standpoint, I'm all for it. Listen, I hope he did it because he wants to do it going forward, not just a one-off. But if he's going to do it, it's very aggressive. So at least Eze has to contribute to scoring more goals, put us up 2-3-0. Otherwise, it's not going to work because when you got to bring in Schlupp as a defensive and Hughes, and then you give up a goal late at 1-1, that doesn't really, what we accomplish from doing that. Do you know what I mean? So, but I agree with you. I want to see it, but I just don't. I think it's very aggressive, and I'm not against that, but I just hope it works. That's my point.
Exactly. Patrick asks, why can't Riedewald play in the back of a 3 since he's good on the ball?
Who?
Gyro Riedewald.
I don't even know that is.
He was a centre-back at Ajax. He actually played in a Europa League final against Manchester United.
Yes, he did.
But now he's just seemed like it's over for him and he's got no opportunity.
He's on the bench Saturday. I didn't even realize that. He's on the bench Saturday. I didn't even realize on the bench, which is a step up for him.
Exactly. I'm not playing on the bench.
Making the bench
For me, I think when Joachim Madison and Chris Richards, they're both fit. I don't think Riedewald plays ahead of them, especially even in the back 3. But Patrick is a good shout. It is a good shout because he has played at Ajax there as well.
He has done it. He has done it, yeah.
So, look, we're going to wrap it up shortly. If there's any news tomorrow, we might jump on tomorrow as well. Just talk about whatever's going on. But, of course, this week, we're building up to the Leeds game as well. We're going to have a new show, match preview, that's going to be coming out on Thursday. So, if you are new here, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Helps us out massively, and it only takes a second of your time. So, feel free to do that. Patrick, before we go, any last words about this week? Are you optimistic? Are you expecting any other news, any transfer rumors or anything else? Or
I don't care about rumors in October. Mean nothing to me. I don't care about them. They can have them all day. I don't care. I just hope that we get good news about Richards coming back, Anderson coming back. I'm not looking. I don't want to hear the Klein news. I'm sure it's not going to be good. But if we can get Richards and Anderson back for Sunday's match at home against Leeds, I'll be happy. And obviously, like I said, we need to get a couple of wins now. We got to start stacking some wins back to back now because now we're in 17th. We've got these late, dropping points late is not a good look, but we've got to start winning some matches now. Now we've got no excuses. And we're not playing Chelsea and Man City and Liverpool and Arsenal for a while. We've already had that tough run. But now we've got to start putting some wins together. So hopefully we'll get some players back and get some wins. And I like to see some play. Let some of the kids play, man. And I'm also about to start. Get them on the bench like JK on Saturday. Get them on the bench, get them experience so that hopefully late in matches they can come on and get some experience, and at some point they can contribute because we have a good academy. D, listen, in the past we've joked about this, but we've got this academy now is no joke. We beat PSG 7-3 last week. That could never happen a few years ago. I'm sorry. We've got the facilities, we've got the coaching staff. They can play. Give a couple of them a chance, man. And hopefully they'll come through for us.
Exactly. Look, we'll see what happens only Monday. That's it from me and Patrick. And until next time, up the Palace.